So how will we look back at Europe and NA's performances overall at Worlds 2020?
I think it will be seen as the bare minimum. I think the bare minimum of every team kind of hit their spot. I think we came into Worlds thinking G2 is going to be a top 4 team at worst, or like that is their like most likely spot is top 4, losing to a top esports or a JD Gaming or a Damwon. Fnatic top 8 team fought in the quarterfinals. All of NA not making groups. There are going to be 1 or 2 teams making a 3-3 record, losing to a tiebreaker. We saw that with FlyQuest and Team Liquid. The only real embarrassing, the Mad Lions and TSM are probably the big outliers here, where they didn't live up to the expectations. Even if you didn't think TSM wasn't going to make it out of the group, you still think they'd probably win 1 or 2 games. Mad Lions, even if you didn't think they were that great of a team, would still make the group stages and then lose, 1 to 5, 2 to 4 there. So I think overall it's a very melancholy state for the West, where one team made the top 4 and they were outclassed by a possible Pantheon team, a possible one of the best teams of all time. So it kind of left you lingering there. And I made this I made this post on Twitter, and I said, no Western team has ever hoisted the Summoners Cup. And you can come at me and say, Fnatic 2011, they won the Season 1 World Championship. For one, wasn't called the World Championship back then. It was just called the Season 1 Championship. No Chinese or Korean team were in that tournament. That's a pretty big adage that you would want to add on any time you want to bring up Fnatic winning the championship. And even if you want to consider Fnatic a world champion, they never hoisted the Summoners Cup. The Summoners Cup wasn't created until Season 2, 2012, when the Taipei Assassins raised it up. It's another year where a Western team isn't going to hoist the Summoners Cup. And it's a melancholy feeling, because it's like, if G2 can't do this, and if this is the wall G2 is going to hit with this 5-man roster, are they going to get better with this 5-man roster? It's hard to think about, right? Where you would think that they would be better this year than last year because you get that extra year experience, but they didn't improve as much as you maybe would have loved to see from this 5-man roster. And it feels like we've hit a ceiling, Arda, where what's going to happen? And from everything I've been told, and it's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy free agency period. I thought it'd be very boring. COVID and maybe I thought it would be a slower year. There's rumors and crazy rumors, and I don't think the status quo is going to stick in either region. I feel like we're going to see a lot of shakeups all around Europe and North America, and it feels like this could be the end of a chapter. I feel like this could be an end of a chapter for the Western scene, where they improved, where G2 got very close, but they hit a ceiling, and we might see shuffling coming on to try to take on the next generation, because Damwon's not going anywhere. They're young as hell. Unless, money talks and that team splits up because of LPL influences, or an NA team throws a large cash check at Naguri in the offseason, that team probably sticks together, and that's a team that could only get better. That might only get better as time goes on. So it's a very melancholy feeling, Arda.
Yeah, and let me add this based on everything you said. No Western team exceeded expectations, and only a couple matched expectations, and I think that's a concern. I would say that is valid to be concerned after all the collective performances at Worlds. We didn't get a standout performance necessarily. Every G2 making the semifinals was to be expected. Fnatic making the quarterfinals was to be expected. There were teams that underperformed, like you said, TSM going 0-6, Mad Lions fizzling out against Supermassive in the way they did at play-ins. Team Liquid making it to groups was expected. Team Liquid making it out of groups would have been exceeding expectations. Yes. And actually, maybe they were the closest, because they were one scenario away, really, from making it into the playoffs, but it didn't happen. And so now you're left thinking, it really does feel like an end of an era in a way.